Well, hello and welcome to another edition of Movie Burner News, where we are going to be talking about the top 10 anticipated films of 2019. And I'm joined, as always, by John. And we're going to delve right into this, John. And it's no surprise, in no particular order, I might add, Avengers In Game, which is coming out early next year. We are certainly looking forward to this one, aren't we?
We are, yeah. It's no particular order, Stephen, but I think Avengers In Game is at number one for me anyway. Yeah. Can't be too presumptuous and say it's at number one for you.
This is in a year where we're getting a Star Wars release.
We are. That's just the nature of Star Wars, though, Stephen. Yeah. What Disney have done to it? Yeah. The anticipation is not there. It is there. Well, it is there because it's on the list, but not to the extent that it is with Avengers In Game. And that's for the obvious reason, Stephen. Yeah. It's a culmination of 10 years of work. Yeah. Blood, sweat and tears from Kevin Feige, the likes of Robert Downey Jr.
And the Russo brothers.
Yeah, and the Russo brothers. Yeah. Who could forget? And just what they've managed to accomplish with this MCU. It's hard to imagine, Stephen, that prior to, was it 2007, 2008?
Yeah, that's when
there was no MCU. No. We were getting the likes of that horrible Captain America film from the early 1990s, where it was 50 million cuts and he was dancing about a courtyard. Now we've got this MCU, we've grown to love all these characters. Well, some of them haven't made it to Endgame, but they will pop up. We all know those dusted characters are going to be back in some vein or another. We know this because SpiderMan, Far From Home.
Far From Home, yeah.
Still don't know that title. It's on the list, so I don't know how I don't know it. But we know it because he's going to be popping up, and it's pretty much been confirmed this is taking place after the events of Avengers 4, aka Endgame. So yeah, no surprise, Stephen, why this is at number one, and well, it's on the list of most anticipated films for 2019. Just seeing where they take this story, just seeing who's going to make it through this story into phase 4 of the MCU, who's not going to make it through the story, how Thanos is going to be taken down. Is it going to be Captain Marvel? Is it going to be Hulk, whose power is unlimitless or unlimited? It just depends on how angry he can get, and he was obviously made to look an absolute fool at the beginning of Infinity War by Thanos, who took him on.
A lot of people didn't like the way that Hulk and Bruce Banner were handled. They thought it was a bit of a joke, a bit of a comedy element to the character.
A shrinking violet.
You think back to the Incredible Hulk movie. It was certainly a different. I know it was obviously Edward Norton that was playing the character at that point. It was a very more serious role at that point. But
I can forgive them though, Stephen, because they did say that I can't remember what combination of films. I believe it's probably Ragnarok, Infinity War, and maybe this one. That this was going to be them fleshing out the Hulk backstory. Yeah. That they didn't have a deal or something to do, or they didn't want to do an Origins standalone film for Bruce Banner and Hulk. So they've been continuing this story, this battle of wills between Bruce Banner and the Hulk. Also in Ragnarok, it was all Hulk and very little Bruce Banner. Yeah. And in Infinity War, it was all Bruce Banner and no Hulk, apart from the opening 5-10 minutes where he gets beaten to a pulp by Thanos. So we're going to see this culmination of this Origins story, or this backstory, this on-off love-hate relationship between Bruce Banner and the Hulk. So I can't wait to see that little side arc in amongst the greater arc of just the universe, trying to get back in order and defeat Thanos. But I cannot wait. I do think it's going to be Captain Marvel that's going to come in and save the day. Combination of her, obviously Hulk, and just everybody in general.
I think Iron Man will have
to play. I think he may sacrifice. I think he is going to die, sadly, Stephen. I think Steve Rogers will walk off into the sunset. I don't think he'll die. I think he'll maybe pass the mantle onto a reanimated Bucky. Yeah. So that's what I think they're going to do there. Maybe wrong, but that's what it's all about, the anticipation and the speculation. But that is certainly one that further deserves to be on the list at number one.
I know that's your number one. Man, it's probably on par with the next film we're going to talk about, John. It's Star Wars Episode 9, which hasn't got a title yet. We do anticipate somewhere over the next few weeks we're going to get this announcement of the final chapter of the Skywalker saga, what it's going to be called. A lot of speculation out there at the moment. Some of them are a bit naff, some of them are actually quite good.
Son of Darkness?
Yeah, no, it sounds like a Dracula film to me. But
New Order?
Yeah.
No, it's not too bad.
I liked him as a band, but not as a movie title.
A New Order it was.
So this film, John, it's wrapping up the Skywalker saga finally.
Yeah.
This was part of the sequel trilogy. The Force Awakens, I think we both agree it was a good film. A bit of a rehash of some of the elements from the original trilogy.
It was a good introduction to a new generation, Stephen.
It served its purpose, and J.J. Abrams did a good job there, John. Last Jedi, on the other hand, was very diverse, very much divided the fans in regards to its plot, or a lot of people felt a lot of plot holes in there, and very much, as you said, lack of
space.
The handling of the well, it certainly was, wasn't it? Yeah,
it's not very speedy.
Also, the way they handled the legacy characters, the handling of Snoke as well, and Donald Gleason's character.
Donald Gleason, Captain Hux, General Hux.
It was a bit of a joke figure in it, and obviously, as you said, the handling of Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
I'm not really bothered about how they handled his passing on to the Force. That was inevitable. It's going to happen at some point in the trilogy. It was more. We could be here all day, as we spoke about this in regards to where Luke was at this point in his life, and we did talk about it in the last Force Friday show as well. So we don't really want to get too much into that, John. Talking about this film, it's going to be very interesting to see how J.J. Abrams back in the directorial chair, how he's going to deal with all the sort of loose ends. A lot of things that he left opened in his episode 7. Rian Johnson kind of addressed some of the things, ignored a lot of it. But there's also the Rian Johnson things that have got to carry on and be tied up as well into this episode 9 as well. So how do you think they're going to handle that? And do you think they will be able to manage to pull this off in I'm assuming it's going to be a 2.5 hour film?
Yeah, I think this may be the longest Star Wars film to date, Stephen. I think Rian Johnson broke that record with The Last Jedi. I think he came in at 2 hours and 15 minutes, 30 minutes.
Roughly about 2:20,
Yeah, I think this may be a 2.5 hour film, and I think they'll need every minute of that film. Certainly JJ will need every minute of that film to try and connect this into the rest of the saga trilogy, because sequel trilogy, because a lot of people would say that Rian Johnson handled those loose ends well, leading in from The Force Awakens into The Last Jedi. Certainly was backed into a corner, Stephen, with the film taking place immediately after the events of The Force Awakens. There wasn't much he could do, apart from maybe doing a massive time jump at some point, which he felt wasn't necessary.
No.
But I don't think he handled Snoke that well. I would have liked to see Snoke continue on into the final episode of this saga trilogy, this sequel trilogy. But look, this is something we've seen even when George Lucas was in control of Star Wars in the prequel days, where you do have this tendency for Star Wars to maybe kill off a lot of Dark Force users, a lot of Dark Side Force users. We've seen it with Count Dooku getting killed, we've seen it with Darth Maul getting killed. Characters that had great potential, that could have carried all the way through a trilogy, had a great on-off sort of a back-and-forth battle of wits with the light side and the good people on the side of the Force. But they killed him off for whatever reason, and he's done it again. He's kind of continued this theme with Snoke dying, which was sad for me because I liked Andy Serkis, his portrayal of that character. I thought it was very intriguing. I thought they could have continued this on. He could have maybe been Darth Plagueis. We could have maybe seen this guy, if he wasn't Darth Plagueis, what his rich origin story could have been. We didn't get it. He got killed off. My biggest disappointment from The Last Jedi, which I'd like to see addressed in this episode 9 film, would be the handling of John Boyega's Finn character. A lot of people were disgruntled with the handling of the legacy characters, with the handling of General Hux. I thought they completely neutered Finn, sent him off in a wild goose chase with Rose to this pathetic casino planet, badgering us with animal cruelty adverts and stuff like that, just totally unnecessary. And then they neutered him when he had a great moment to sacrifice himself, show a great end to his arc, where he was this selfish guy that was running away scared from the First Order. That was him. He had his chance to sacrifice himself, stand up to the First Order and save his friends, but nope, they never did it. But look, I sincerely hope they do address it. I sincerely hope JJ gets it right. This is a guy who has rejuvenated franchises historically. It'll be very intriguing to see if he can step in and end and bookend a franchise that is rejuvenated and a manner that's going to unite the fan base. Certainly hope he does, and I'm looking forward to the film regardless of all the negativity surrounding the divisive nature of The Last Jedi. I think it will end on a positive note with JJ in there. I'm really pleased that he's come back. A lot of people weren't. I think he nailed that feel of Star Wars in The Force Awakens, and I'm absolutely sure he'll get it right with episode 9. Hope he does.
I would have been happy with Colin Trevorrow, but that was based on the original writings of the template they were using until things changed with Rian Johnson.
Surviving through.
I think Colin Trevorrow said himself, that he was very much happy to step away after. What happened in episode 8, but
it essentially ignored him.
Exactly, so and it wasn't fitting into his storytelling, so it was probably for the best. But we'll move on, John, to and this is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This is the upcoming Tarantino film. Both of us are big Tarantino fans. It's been long awaited. It's been a few years. I think, was it The Hateful Eight was his last release?
It was, yeah. Hateful Eight, yeah.
It's been a few years, yeah. So I'm certainly looking forward to this one. When the news was announced that this was going to be taking place over certain events and time, the Sharon Tate murders, it was quite a sensitive subject, but I think a lot of time has passed. I'm not saying that people have got over these shocking things that happened, you know, in LA at that time in the late 60s, but I think what Tarantino is really doing here is he's it's not going to be heavily focused. No. It's going to be centred around.
Yeah, that whole host of events in the year. I think it's 1967.
Yeah, it's late 60s,
Yeah, 67, 68. It's going to be focusing on that year in general and just all the various different things that happened in LA. And we're going to see it through the spectrum, I believe, of the Leonardo DiCaprio character, and obviously Brad Pitt playing his stuntman. He's going to be playing a down in his luck actor that's trying to make inroads into Hollywood. And there's a whole host of star-studded actors and actresses coming on board for this film. And it's going to be absolutely epic, Stephen. I cannot wait to see this next chapter in Tarantino's career. This is one of my favourite directors. I think he's just an incredible, one of the all-time great directors already. I cannot wait to see how he gets all of this great ensemble of actors together, how they're going to fit into the story. He's come out and says it's going to be like Pulp Fiction. And the way it's going to thread through maybe different perspectives, different timelines, it's all going to come together in a great culminative end. I cannot wait to see this film. It looks amazing. The shots of the behind the scenes, the shots of Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio standing together. I think there was even a shot of Margot Robbie. She's playing Sharon Tate, I believe. Standing, and the period looks nailed on. I think I heard that they're shutting off vast areas of LA and transforming it into the 60s. So he's going to approach this the right way. He always does. He's going to get the period setting absolutely bang on. And I know that he can get the performances out of the actors and the actresses. The story itself is a little bit touchy. Obviously, the Charles Manson murders and just that cult in general, the violent and gruesome nature of those deaths. But I think he'll get it right. I think he'll get the balance right. He'll not focus too much on that. It'll be more how this impacts on famous people throughout Hollywood in that time period.
I can understand why people would jump to the conclusion that he'd want to base it, you know, specifically on those events because of his previous films, the Reservoir Dogs, etc., which have relied on, I don't want to say gore because it's not really, but violence. But I don't think this is going to be the case. I think he's come on leaps and bounds as a writer as much as a director in the last 20 or so years, 25 years. I can't wait to see this. It's going to be very interesting to see Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio and sharing screen time and how their chemistry is going to work because they're two big players in Hollywood.
Is Al Pacino in there, Steve?
I remember, it was rumoured. Do you know something? I've not actually checked the cast list for a little while. When we were doing the audio podcasting, when this news broke, I was certainly fascinated with the news coming out with the cast.
I forget the guy's name as well, Stephen. The guy who played Dick Winters, Richard Winters from Band of Brothers. He's got ginger hair. He's a fantastic actor. He's in another series, it may be Homeland or something. I don't think it is. But he's a brilliant actor and he's going to be in there as well, apparently. And they're getting the same guy that played Charles Manson in a TV show back to portray that character. So it's very intriguing and I cannot wait to see it. But Stephen, we'll move on to the next film on our list. It's another Marvel release. It's Captain Marvel. We've also reacted to the trailer, the second trailer. And this is going to be a very important, I think, introduction to this character, introduction into the MCU in general, Stephen. It is going to be set in the 90s. It's a prequel film, but just the sheer importance of this character coming into the MCU, showing everybody what she's capable of, and I'm absolutely convinced she's going to be the one that's going to come in and save Tony Stark. Obviously he's in peril, he's running out of air and food, wandering along or stranded, just floating around hopelessly in space. She, I think, is going to come in and save him, and they have to get this character's introduction bang on. Brie Larson coming in, the likes of Jude Law in there, Ben Mendelsohn as an antagonistic figure. We've got, I forget his bloody name, terrible. Samuel Jackson's in there as Nick Fury, but the guy that was the villain in Guardians of the Galaxy, I forget his name. But he's coming
Lee
back.
Pace,
Lee Pace. So I cannot wait to see this 90s set introduction to the Captain Marvel figure. It's not going to be a backstory, they've confirmed that, but just, you see already in the trailers, the attention to detail, blockbuster. Also the thing crashing through.
We were talking about period pieces in the previous film, John, where I don't like it when they beat you over the head to remind you this is when this took place. Certainly there is little references. We've already seen blockbuster pagers.
Which is
I don't really want to see that. I don't want to be reminded constantly that you know, this is the 1990s. It's different for the Tarantino film because it's set in that time period, and I don't think Tarantino would go down that road of beating you over the head about having hippies and all that, you know, and peace and love and all that. I don't think he's going to go down that road. It'll be very subtle, and I hope they do the same in this movie. I'm
absolutely sure they will, Stephen. I cannot wait. I'm sure it'll be another fantastic standalone release for the MCU. Kevin Feige just knows what he's doing, and Brie Larson's a brilliantly talented actress, and I'm sure she will be absolutely fantastic. All the signs point to it being a brilliant release. But we'll move on to the, I think it's the fourth, or no, the fifth film in our top 10 anticipated list for 2019, and it is Glass, obviously the M. Night Shyamalan release. It's again starring Samuel L. Jackson, also James McAvoy and Bruce Willis. This is the potential cumulative end to the trilogy, the unofficial trilogy, obviously Split and Unbreakable being the other two. I cannot wait to see this film, Stephen. We have reacted to a trailer. We've seen all of the other trailers, which I do feel were better than the one we reacted to, but we weren't doing trailer reactions at that point. This is just a sort of a universe, a comic book universe that I'm totally immersed in. I'm fully involved in these characters, and I cannot wait to see how M. Night Shyamalan takes this story going forward. It's clear from the trailers that Glass, Elijah Price, I believe the name is. I hope I'm getting that right. It says I'm invested. I think he's going to use the Split, I forget his bloody name, the James McAvoy multi-personality character as a pawn. He's going to play him like a fiddle, use his brawn and his cerebral intelligence together to try and take on David Dunn. So I cannot wait to see this goddamn film.
Yeah, I mean, if it is going to be the concluding part of a trilogy, I'm going to be very.
It's not.
I will be honest. I think I'll be very disappointed with that. But I don't think the director really wants to invest too much time in this universe.
Well, it's not been confirmed one way or the other that it is a trilogy, but I think most people are assuming that it will be. But look, I've been a big fan of M. Night Shyamalan. I think his career took a slight dive, and he regained himself with Split, and I really hope it continues on in that upward cycle, because this is a film which we've been looking forward to for a number of months and maybe even years now, Stephen. But look, we'll move on to the number 6 film, and it's Joker, which is obviously the Joaquin Phoenix, Martin Scorsese produced Joker 80s sort of origin. It's not an origin, I don't believe. It's a standalone film, and it's going to be linked into the sort of the mafia and the criminal underworld of Gotham City. I think it's been confirmed we're going to have the Wayne's in it. I don't know if Bruce is going to be in it, but certainly the parents are going to be in it. And I cannot wait to see this film as well, Stephen. It looks very dark, it looks grimy. It looks like an intriguing, different portrayal from Joaquin Phoenix. We've also seen behind the scenes shots, we've seen short little snippets of him walking along the street. Looks a very different take on the character, more in line with the Jack Nicholson version than perhaps Heath Ledger. But that's the great thing about the Joker, Stephen. He may look as though he's going that direction, but he may take it off in a completely different direction. We've seen it with all the multiple Joker interpretations over the years. They're all very different.
I think this one's going to be closer to The Killing Joke, the animated DC. When it came out, I think 2016, John, where it does give you sort of a backstory in regards to how he became the Joker. You don't really get much of that from these behind the scenes shots, but I think that's probably where they are going with this one. And you're right, I think the character allows the writer or the director to really just go haywire, because it's such a complex character that can go in any direction, and there's no right or wrong way. A lot of people might not like the fact that you know, you're giving him a name or whatever. I wasn't really bothered about that. I just want to see this guy creating carnage and loving it, because that's what he's all about. You know,
he's such as the maniacal way of the character, Stephen. He could be given a name that might be complete and utter box. So you never know. But look, I cannot wait to see it, man. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. I'm absolutely sure. Joaquin Phoenix is a phenomenally talented actor, and having a guy of the calibre of Martin Scorsese involved can only prove to be a big positive for this film. But we will move on to the next film. It's a very different film, Steve, Toy Story 4. Obviously the fourth iteration of the incredible Toy Story franchise. This is a film that's been marred with a little bit of turmoil in terms of writing. They've ripped up the script and started again, but such is the way with Pixar, they're not happy with every tiny little detail which makes up a cumulative magic. They will toss it in the bin and they will start again until they get it right. And I'm sure they've got it right. We've heard the likes of Woody Allen, Tom Hanks coming out and saying it's a very emotional...
Tim Allen,
Tim Allen, sorry, not Woody Allen, sorry, I'm talking about crap. But we've seen them coming out and talking about how it's a really emotional story. I think Tom Hanks was breaking down talking about it. So I cannot wait to see this. See the adventures of Woody. That's why I said Woody. Woody.
It's in your head, isn't it? I mean, I think, John, a lot of people were asking question, do we really need a fourth instalment of this? I think they tied everything up really nicely in that third instalment, which is nearly 9 years old now.
It's incredible, isn't it?
It
was a fantastic film, Toy Story.
And it was a great ending to it as well. You know, a lot of teary eyes, you know, at the very end of that. I'm not talking about the incinerator scene, I'm talking about when the toys were passed down to that little girl from the nursery. And I think that was a nice ending to it. It's interesting to see where they're going to take this now. We've seen that that Forky, or whatever it's called, that
they introduced a whole host of new characters and a couple of trailers with these teddy bears, I believe, at Carnival, the fairground setting. And then Forky also in that hilarious, I don't know what the hell they call it, Stephen, they were dancing around in a circle.
It was like a kind of folk song, wasn't it? Yeah,
it was absolutely mental, but look, this is going to be fantastic as well. I love the characters, we're invested, I spoke about being invested in the characters in Glass. Everybody, I can't imagine anybody unless they've been living under a rock for 20 years, isn't invested in the characters of Woody, Buzz and just Slinky and all those other highly memorable characters that really framed my childhood, grown right up to now, nearly 30, and they're still here and they've not changed, and that's the magic of film. Cannot wait to see where they go with it. I'm not sure how they better Toy Story 3, but look, you could argue, I say Toy Story 3, you could argue every single one of them have been excellent. I think the original and Toy Story 3 are the best though. Toy Story 2, black sheep for me, but still good. Cannot wait to see how they do with Toy Story 4. Is it going to be a flop? I doubt it. But we will move on. Again, I keep saying moving on, Stephen, but it's just a fact of life. To Spider-Man Far From Home. I couldn't remember the name earlier in the show, but it's there in writing right in front of me. This is the next chapter in the Tom Holland Spider-Man sort of adventure. He's going away from home, I believe, clearly. Maybe to London, I don't know.
United Kingdom,
I think he's come to London. I'm sure I've seen some promotional shots of him dangling off of that gherkin-shaped building in London. It was a couple of other names, we'll call it the Gherkin. But this is going to be interesting, Stephen. Really like Tom Holland's interpretation of the character. I still think the Tobey Maguire films from the early 2000s, certainly Spider-Man 2, are the best iterations and take on Spider-Man. I liked Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, that is really up there rivaling it. Very different, very interesting take, also animated. Miles Morales, different interpretation of the character again. But I think Tom Holland is still the best. I think he's delivered the best performance in Spider-Man, if that makes sense.
I think it's Peter Parker.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2 is the best film, but Tom Holland I think is the definitive Peter Parker for me so far. I can't wait to see what he does.
Totally agree. You know, Homecoming was such a refreshing film. You're talking only 5-7 year period between Spider-Man 3, the Tobey Maguire one, and then the
Amazing Spider-Man,
Spider-Man films. The first one was okay, the second one was terrible, but they really reinvented the character, and I think that was all down to his introduction in Civil
War.
You know,
very memorable.
I think that was a great way to introduce that character, similar to Black Panther as well. That introduction, it set the sort of tone of the character. I think they've got his age range just perfectly as well. I think you mentioned the other day he was 22, but he's playing a 16-year-old.
He's 22, 23, but such as the youthful looks of Tom Holland and just the vibes he gives off. He can play a teenager, and he plays it very well. And just the dedication to the character, seeing him training and flipping on trampolines, and just the sheer dedication he puts into portraying this character. Also, he can't hold his water, Stephen, when it comes to, I don't think that's even a saying, when it comes to leaking, he's a bit of a motor mouth, but I love the guy anyway. He's such a likeable chap, and he's very, very good as Tom Holland as Peter Parker, so I can't wait to see this film. But we'll move on to number 9 on our list, Stephen, and it is the New Mutants. This was a film which was on our 2018 most anticipated list from last year when we were doing audio shows, Stephen, and it's still not out because it's been delayed and it's been reshot. And just also, I think the merger between Fox and Disney has had a big part to play in this. You also says back then, Stephen, that perhaps James McAvoy's Charles Xavier would be popping up. Maybe this is why they went in and reshot it, because Disney have said, look, Dark Phoenix is the end for the that take of the characters, and that we will not want that coming in. There's a whole host of new young characters coming in, and as the Teenage Mutants and New Mutants.
It could be.
We don't want to bag them down.
Professor X could appear in it, but as a new actor.
It could be.
It could be the introduction for the new XMen.
That'd be very intriguing indeed. But I think that if it was ever in the work, Stephen, that James McAvoy was appearing, then I think the reshoots would have took him out, because they don't want to bag down this new potential budding franchise with some of the old guard.
I think as well, John, the tone of the film.
Yeah, it's a lot darker now. Yeah. But then we did hear it was going to be PG, I believe, so that's or 12 or something. It wasn't R-rated. That disappointed me. But look, this guy, the director, I don't know his name. It's left my mind at the moment. But he's very passionate about the story. He's very passionate about the tone, getting these horror elements in and doing something, stretching the boundary of that rating to the absolute maximum.
Definitely,
and with the likes of Maisie Williams in there, Anya Taylor-Joy, I think it's Charlie Heaton from Stranger Things. Brilliant young, talented cast, brilliant tone, interesting visuals, interesting concept. They're all locked up in this sort of a institution, and they've got this doctor who may be trying to help them, may be trying to turn them and turn their powers to nefarious means. But it's intriguing, and I cannot wait to see it. Hopefully it'll come out next year, finally, Stephen, because we need to see these bloody characters.
Not 2020, because we don't talk about it again.
No, not 2020. I'll not be talking about this film again, Stephen. If it doesn't come out this year, I'm done with New Mutants. I'm done with Maisie Williams. No, I couldn't say that. Love that girl, she's just amazing. But we'll move on to the final film, Stephen. This top 10 anticipated films of 2019, and it's continuing that X-Men vibe. It's Dark Phoenix, of course. Everybody thinks, me included, that this is going to be the end for James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, Jennifer Lawrence, and just a whole host of other amazing characters that have carried the younger, more vibrant, youthful side of the Charles Xavier, Magneto, and just Mystique and all those characters through the 2000s and right into now. I think it's going to be the end, and it's going to be sad, but I think it will be a brilliant and fitting conclusion to the characters. Also, we've got Sophie Turner playing Jean Grey, Dark Phoenix. So it's going to be a fantastic, explosive film, charting this obviously troubled and interesting character of Jean Grey. She's going to go down the rabbit hole, Stephen, and how are we going to see Magneto and Charles Xavier teaming up one last time to maybe temper and save the character? And I don't know.
I think so. I think they might, because I think this is, I don't know if it's been confirmed or not, John, but I think this one's going to take place in the 1990s. Apocalypse took place in the 1980s, and this is what I'm talking about, period piece. I think in Apocalypse they beat us over the head with the 80s fashion. That kind of annoyed me a little bit. The film itself, though, I liked. I know that it got a lot of mixed reviews. It wasn't up there with the likes of Days of Future Past, but what is? It's one of the best X-Men films that was ever made. This film, I'm intrigued to see if it's going to be the last one, how they're going to round things up. And it's kind of the decade before the actual, the original X-Men trilogy took place. Which is very intriguing. So it kind of ties in nicely with that as well. Very nicely.
And obviously First Class, that was the 70s, wasn't it? With Trask. Peter Dinklage and Kevin Bacon. So it's going to be very intriguing to see how they tie all of this together into obviously the original Patrick Stewart and the Ian McKellen era of the X-Men. I think it will be the end, and it will be sad, but look, we've already said and bid farewell to Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, so I don't think we can do much more with these characters moving into this Disney merger. Disney wanting to bring these characters into the MCU in some way. But look, Stephen, we'll quickly fire through a couple of others, because we are running out of time with this bloody recording limit on the camera. It's only 30 minutes, sadly. I could speak here for another half an hour. But we'll just fire through, not going into any great depth.
No, these are just honourable mentions, John.
Honourable mentions. John Wick 3, obviously the third instalment of the Keanu Reeves revenge-fueled mobster sort of a hitman films. Absolutely loved the first two. Thought the first one was significantly better than the second one, but I still really enjoyed the second one. Cannot wait to see what they do with this third one. I'll let you do the honors for the next one.
Dumbo's the next one, John. We saw a few trailers of this. Thoroughly looking forward to this live-action version of the beloved character.
Absolutely.
Shazam, another one that's. I think this is going to do well. I think it's very.
I think so.
Yeah, it's going to be very just doing its business very quietly, but I think it's going to perform very well. The Lion King, very much like Dumbo. It's just another reiteration of the classic animated one. Pet Sematary, Stephen King. Can't go wrong. It says a remake, obviously, of the original one that came out in the early 90s. And we've already reviewed the trailer for this. And finally, It Chapter 2. It's carrying on the
second part. It's going to be the older children coming back, growing up to try and see off Pennywise once and for all. It's a very interesting story, a fantastic novel by Stephen King. It's going to be the year of Stephen King, Stephen. I think we're getting a whole host of adaptations of the great man's work. So anyway, that just wraps up our 2019 most anticipated film list, Stephen. We'll fire up a quick graphic just now to let you know, just in case you have forgot. And we'd like to just thank you for once again watching this video. If you're enjoying what we're putting out, do hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, maybe even comment below giving your own 2019 most anticipated films. If not, then that's fair enough, we'll not hold a grudge. But look guys, we'd just like to thank you for watching us once again. We will be back tomorrow with the blog rundown.